Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
The Panthers in 3.
Let's talk Devils and Islanders, let's talk Penguins and Rangers, but let's not talk about Flyers, cause they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny.
So, if Elliot Friedman can do a podcast from the car, which I've heard him do on countless occasions, why can't the Friends and Rivals podcast do a podcast from the car? Well, I'm in the car at least.
Just one person's in the fucking car.
Just one person who had to travel to Newark, New Jersey.
This is basically you calling into the show like a guest on WFAN.
All right, first time, long time. How you doing, guys?
What?
Oh my God. I am just, every time I come to this airport, it is just one thing after another. I don't understand. There was no cars in Hertz, and then you finally get a car brought around, and then you have to wait in a line that's a mile long in order to get out of the garage and proceed. They had one person working. Do they not know how many reservations they have for the evening? Do they not know?
Of course they know. They don't give a shit, because guess what? You still gave them your fucking money, or the company's money, as it were.
And your presidential circle too.
Right. I am.
That's the service that you
also,
give. You're like elite.
I think you need to touch on the whole travel fiasco that you went through today.
Well, we all know the travel fiasco from last week. Let's not forget the food poisoning that was suffered last week.
Ooh, missed that.
Yeah.
Listen back to the show. Maybe listen to the show.
Us. Nick doesn't listen to the show. Stupid us.
Hey, come on. You guys dumb?
So I was already gonna have a really cramped agenda for this evening. So I wanted to give myself a little bit of flexibility. So I changed my flight to from 4:00 to 1:30 to give myself about an hour and a half additional time while I'm in New Jersey to get things done, so I could be on at 9:00 to record with you fine gentlemen.
Smart.
So right. I thought I was being smart. So it turns out the 1:30 flight got delayed till 2:30. Okay, not bad. Still going to be in an hour early, no problem. Then it gets delayed till 6 p.m. And I'm like, oh no, now I'm going to be later than my original flight, which completely defeats the entire changing of the flight thing this morning. So I call up United to try and get back on my original flight, and all seats are gone, and I can't get back on my original flight. So then I had to settle for the 5:40 flight, which got me into Newark at 8:30. So that's why I'm struggling a little bit for time. Where I thought I was going to save time, I am now struggling a little bit with time.
And for all this time changing, United compensated you by giving you what?
Nothing.
Yeah. Fucking headache.
Not a fucking thing.
Airlines right up there with insurance companies in terms of the most useless organizations there are.
I flew out of O'Hare to Tampa last week to go home for my travels. I sat in my window seat, and we had the luxury of having DirecTV on our flight. I couldn't watch DirecTV on our flight because the remote control in the armrest was completely destroyed. Like, I took a pen out and tried to jam it in the holes in order to get the sound to work, and it did not work. And I called and complained about, in fact, I tweeted them. I sent a tweet. Everybody can go see it at Tom Hark10 on the X, on the Twix. You can see my interaction with United last week. There is even a picture of said remote control in the armrest, and they compensated me 1,000 frequent flyer miles.
And what does that get you?
Nothing. It wouldn't even get me a bag of pretzels.
They might as well said they were giving you 10,000 Bejewel points.
And that would have been better.
10,000.
If they gave me 200 premium currency points in Apex Legends, it would have been more useful for me to utilize. Thank you, Nick, for laughing.
Do they do Wi-Fi on those planes still? Is that still a thing?
Yes, they do. The last time I got Wi-Fi, I tried to watch a Ranger game, and it was just choppy, and it was almost unwatchable on
Rangers,
United flights.
Yep, Miss Rangers.
That was the Rangers.
Hey, shame on all of you.
Segue.
Yes. Well, speaking of your number 1 seed president trophy winning New York Rangers.
President Circle Trophy Rangers.
Well, yes. Now they have status with Hertz. They all have the presidential circle. They finished out their round 2 series against the Carolina Hurricanes on Thursday evening down in Raleigh. And look, to start that game, at least they had a lot more jump. They had more pep in their step than that of game 4 or 5 rather. They really shit the bed game 5 and really had nothing. But in game 6 they came out with a little pep in their step, and the Trocheck, Panarin, Lafreniere line was without question their best line for the first 2 periods of that hockey game, where really nothing else was going on. The Canes go up 2-0. The Rangers get one back on a goal, a nice deflection goal by Trocheck off the shot by Panarin, and it's 3-1 heading into the 3rd period. Now I have to tell you a story. Before, I don't recall which intermission I was in because that night's now a blur to me. But I was in between periods sulking, and of course. And I'm watching. I'm going through TikTok, and cycling through TikTok, I just so happened to land on the Messier guarantee game. Now it was a segment taken from one of the many documentaries. In fact, they have another fucking documentary coming out about the 94 Rangers. Is this like the 10th or the 20th documentary about the 94 Rangers or about that summer of 94? It's absolutely ridiculous. What more can they tell us in this new document that ESPN is doing or the documentary that we don't already know? Really,
nothing.
Anyway, more on that later.
More on that later.
Yeah. So this was a segment either taken from like the summer of 94 or I Was There When, one of those documentaries, and it went through the whole thing. I think Boomer Esiason was in one of the segments, so it might have been I Was There When. And I watched the entire Messier guarantee thing, and I was like, damn, ain't no one shown up to score a hat trick in this game. And I remember thinking that to myself as I'm watching that TikTok and then going into the game and then going, holy shit. Chris Kreider completely takes over the 3rd period and scores a pure hat trick to seal the Rangers' comeback and make them advance to the next round. And he single-handedly put the Rangers on his back offensively and scored goals, because I don't think we can forget of all the saves that happened prior to that Igor made in the 3rd period that allowed us to be in that position for Kreider to score those goals and for us to win with the score we did. It was amazing, the whole deal with Chris Kreider. I had some bookmarks, I had notes. I can't get to them now while I'm driving. That would be illegal.
Please don't.
But he is now tied with Mark Messier all time in clinching games with goals scored at 16. And I think he's played like half of the number of games Messier has played. So, I mean, not enough can be said about Chris Kreider. and what he means to this organization, this team. He came into the league in 2012, right from the Frozen Four and into the Rangers lineup against the Ottawa Senators in the first round of the playoffs that year. And he's just been amazing ever since. Billy always rags on us about how we don't develop forwards. Well, this is one that we won. This is one that we did develop. This is one that did come through. He's a Ranger draft pick. He is not somebody we traded for. And developing a guy who was having trouble getting to be a 30-goal scorer finally gets over that hump and scores 50, and has been one of the more prolific goal scorers in the NHL in the past 4 years. He has meant more to this organization than a lot of people in the past. The only thing that he's missing right now is a cup. And, from what all the experts are saying, everybody's kind of saying that the Rangers are a team of destiny.
It's theirs to lose.
Yeah, but they're still underdogs going into the Eastern Conference
bullshit.
Final.
No, you're not. Stop.
How are
They are.
Stop.
Where's the underdog thing?
ESPN has the Panthers at 65% to the Rangers 35% in the series. They're underdogs. I'm riding that train.
Stop. No, bullshit. Then don't come on here and brag about President's Trophy winning, and don't come on here and brag about #1 seed. You can't play.
They are.
You can't. Well,
they
then they can't be the fucking underdog.
I don't think that they're the underdog.
You just said you're riding that train.
Yeah, but
of course I'm going to.
Every playoffs they do that. They do that. They always did that with the Penguins when I know I'm going way back with the Penguins in the finals, but there were people picking the Sharks as overwhelming favorites in that series. There's always just a contrarian prick in the press trying to fucking make a name for themselves by calling it the other way. So I don't put anything into those predictions. I mean, you got 4 teams left after tonight. Man, anything could happen with those 4 teams.
I agree.
Listen, I was kind of thinking about this. If your team is playing hockey on Memorial Day, it's a great season. It is a successful season for your franchise. Because if you're playing hockey on Memorial Day, you're in the Eastern or the Western Conference Final. And to be in that position in the Final Four of the NHL, I think it's a pretty successful season.
Tough to do.
So, previewing the upcoming series with the Florida Panthers, the Rangers have had an incredibly difficult time all season playing against teams that have played them physically. There was a couple of times in Washington where you saw Washington kind of dominate play because they took over physically. Florida is big and physical, and they play just as fast as Carolina does. They're going to be a very difficult team to play against. However, I still think the Rangers are going to win this series, and I have them in 7. They're going to do this as long as their power play stays hot, their penalty kill stays hot, not necessarily just scoring shorthanded goals, although that helps a tremendous amount, don't get me wrong, but their penalty kill has to be good, and Igor has to be better than Bob. It's that simple. Those things happen. 5-on-5 play, it'll kind of work itself out. But I think those are the keys to the Rangers, not only it's been their keys throughout the entire playoffs. Good special teams, good solid goaltending, and just play the game. And I think that's what they've done so far in the playoffs. I don't think that's going to stop in this round. I like him in 7. Anybody else want to offer?
Are we all giving our yeah? I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
I would say I'm going to say Rangers in 6.
Oh,
I think they as difficult as Florida can be physically and with speed, I got to give it to the team that's just coming in hotter. Even though Florida's only played 1 more game than the Rangers, I still think the Rangers are the hotter team coming in.
I'm going to take the The Panthers in 3. I mean,
they can't win in 3.
The Rangers. I meant the Rangers. The Rangers in 3 because they're going to beat them down so bad that they're going to be like, "Fuck it, we don't even want to play Game 4."
They're going to surrender, and that's going to be it.
But now that my Bruins had their chance taken away by the referees, Florida didn't deserve to move on. They weren't the better team, so the Rangers are going to take them down big.
I got Florida in 6. I think they're going to be too physical for the Rangers. It'd be interesting to see where Barkov's line, if they line up against Panarin, or most likely, but it's interesting to see what they do with against Kreider, obviously, who's been playing very strong, and how he's going to match up against Panthers and what they're going to do. But they've been there. They've been to the Cup final. They know how to get there. They're not very different from the team that was there before. Rangers obviously are very, very talented, very, very good. And I think it's gonna be very close either way. But I'm going Panthers in this one.
There always has to be one.
Gotta
be one person.
You think I'm gonna be
unanimous
for the Rangers?
And that's fine.
Listen, come on.
No, you haven't, and I'm kind of happy you're not taking the Rangers.
I fucking can't. Okay.
But look, the Rangers, this is their second trip to the Eastern Conference Finals in 3 years. It's the Panthers in back-to-back years. So these are teams that have been there before. It's just gonna be a great series. I can't wait. I can't wait till Wednesday night when things start. But this is also the week of the Sean O'Hara golf outing to raise money for cystic fibrosis, which is the reason why I'm up in New Jersey this week. And Game 1 is on Wednesday evening, and I can just envision a goal being scored at the probably most sincere part of a story being told by some little girl with CF, and I cheer at the table.
Yeah, I'm going to be running video specifically hoping for an incident as such to occur.
Please do.
I kind of figured we would be hightailing it out of there right around 7:35.
It didn't end. It didn't end last year until almost 9. So,
9, yeah,
or 8:30, something like that. I think I'm gonna have to just ESPN it on the phone. I think that's what's gonna happen.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. I'm curious as to what's happening in the game going on right now.
Nothing. 3:40 left in the first. Vancouver on a 4-minute power play right now. Just started.
Woo!
Of note, it's 12-2 in shots on Edmonton.
Shots on goal is very it's very lopsided.
It's lopsided, but I don't know if I felt that the play has been that lopsided. It feels like Edmonton just gotten those shots on net. But Vancouver has definitely not come out very strong this period. They're at home, so they really Game 7. You got to start picking up the pace here because Edmonton's got obviously McDavid and Draisaitl. Those guys don't need much space to score a goal, and we know that happens in tight games here. So Game 7, so we'll see.
And no Brock Besser tonight for Vancouver.
No Brock.
In fact, he is done for the playoffs with blood clots.
Very unfortunate incident. Yeah.
It's like taking away Vancouver's leading scorer. The same thing would happen with Colorado. I mean, completely different circumstances.
Yeah.
But it's taking your number 1 goal scorer out of the lineup for the remainder of the playoffs. And Colorado did not survive it. And it'd be very hard pressed to see to know that Vancouver is going to make it.
Anything can happen in one game, but that's definitely trouble for them trying to advance past the next round.
Yeah, 100%. And I did very little research on this topic, but there has never been a Final Four in the NHL with all number one seeds. It's never happened.
Yeah, I mean, it only would have had it couldn't have happened
since 1980.
Yeah,
since 1980, something like that.
Well, there was a long time where it was.
I figured it would have happened once.
not 4 divisions though, right? Wasn't there
Right,
a
they were
period
like
it
seeded
was
1 through 8,
6?
so they
Yeah.
stopped with the. It could have been division winners, but there wouldn't have been top seeds in a
Yeah.
bracket.
Right. It was full of division winners. It's correct.
Well, that's interesting.
Yep.
I would like to follow up on a topic from last week, if I may.
Sure.
Ryan Glasspiegel, who is obviously a devoted listener of the podcast, and also
who?
Ryan Glasspiegel.
Glass Beagle, like the dog Beagle?
Glasspiegel, Piegel, Glasspiegel. So
Glass-Steagall.
obviously a listener, also writer for the New York Post, published an article last week.
Wait, he's a listener of the podcast?
He's got to be, and that'll become evident.
Sorry.
That'll become evident if you shut the fuck up.
Hey,
Tom, please keep stepping on this story.
Seriously.
Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut beats NHL playoffs in TV viewership.
Which game though? That just for the night, you mean?
It was the Bruins Panthers game, which was opposite the WNBA game. The WNBA game drew 2.12 million viewers. The NHL playoff game drew 1.99 million viewers.
All right, it wasn't triple.
Okay, now factor in that at the same time, the Indiana Pacers were playing the Knicks. So if that game wasn't happening, imagine how many people in Indiana would have been watching the WNBA game versus how many people in Indiana would have been watching the NHL game.
Yeah.
And that's
at least like
8
or 9 more
I
people.
didn't take that into consideration when I gave my estimation. But
I'll allow you guys to say I'm right. It's okay.
At first, you were very adamant that no, it wasn't going to beat it.
No, and then I said it's going to beat it, but it's not going to be.
And then we talked you. I think you were talked into it more than anything.
Doesn't matter. It's still my final answer.
Nah.
Yeah, and
I just did not
right
factor that Knicks game.
I made a prediction about that Rangers Carolina game, and I was right. You don't see me bragging about it until now.
Well, until you're forced to, take credit. Like some people need to fucking get all the credit. Holy shit!
I'm just saying. You guys say
good
triple.
for you.
I said it was going to be triple.
Are you just saying?
I am. I'm just saying. I don't have the rest of the agenda in front of me, so I'm gonna leave it to you guys to direct me which way to go.
Go daily, weekly, WTF. Go.
Now this is the wrong bell.
Weekly WTF. Go. All right. So first, I want to send this out to President Ibrahim Raisi and Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullah, who were tragically lost in a helicopter crash yesterday. The Iranian president and foreign minister. I know some of our audience may not be up to date on world politics, but this is such a tragedy. And to try to put it into terms hockey fans would understand, just imagine if there was a helicopter crash and we learned that Brad Marchand and Tom Wilson were both on board. So it's simply heartbreaking. But, we must move on.
Oh my God.
Speaking of heartbreak, bing bong.
Oh, ding
it's
dong.
over for the Knickerbockers. The Knicks lost Game 7 at home to the Indiana Pacers. But the good news is for Knicks fans that they are the first seed in the New York Presbyterian Hospital League. At point guard with a fractured hand, Jalen Brunson. At center with a fractured ankle, Mitchell Robinson. At guard with an abdominal strain, Josh Hart. Power forward with a separated shoulder, Julius Randle. At small forward with a pulled hamstring, OG Anunoby. Sixth man off the bench with a broken wrist, Bojan Bogdanovic. So if healthy, the Knicks would have won the series, but since the game is played on the court and these guys couldn't be there at full strength, they lost in 7 games. But let's have some perspective on the Knicks for a moment. Their last championship came 4 years after the last Jets Super Bowl title. They aren't basketball. They are basketball's version of the Jets. They suck at drafting players. They go decades at a time without being competitive. So Knicks fans, you don't see a championship in your lifetime. That's probably what's going to happen. But it was a fun season, so take them where you can get them. Bigger picture, though, this is yet another season with no championship at Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. Another year with no hope of hoisting another banner in New York City. Obviously, this is not all in the Knicks. Other major teams call MSG their home. The New York Liberty have been around for 27 seasons. The first 21 of those seasons they played at Madison Square Garden. And in 27 seasons, no championships for the Liberty. The St. John's Red Storm in the NCAA for 117 years, their basketball team, they have 0 national championships. Their last Big East championship was in 1992. The New York City Hawks of the Arena Football League played 2 seasons at MSG, 1997 and 1998. Not only won no championships, but they were so bad that the people who worked at Madison Square Garden nicknamed them the Shitty Hawks. The New York Titans of the National Lacrosse League played at Madison Square Garden, as well as scheduling games at Nassau Coliseum and the Cotton Club, aka the Prudential Center, during the 2007, 2008, and 2009 seasons. They made it to the finals one time and lost to Calgary in the finals. So next time Canada whines about not winning the Stanley Cup, they won a national lacrosse title. And then that's it. There's just no excitement at Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. It's dead as disco, and it's sad to see that no team can deliver there, and they're always coming up short. It's just too bad. So that is the weekly WTF. Thank you.
I mean,
last one out. Turn off the lights.
At what point do I come in here and say you're an idiot?
You don't, because
I guess now
you can't
okay,
talk
good.
over him.
Just now. Had 27 years? Liberty? Really? It's been wow.
Yeah,
WNBA's been around for that long?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Who fucking knew?
97.
1997.
So 97. So did we sell WNBA jerseys at Mets Clubhouse?
No.
I don't think so.
Was it like JV by back
like
then?
They have jerseys?
No, yeah, they got uniforms and everything.
It's the demand part of the supply and demand thing that I think was
Were they playing at halftime during the game or something? I don't remember being that far back.
I really don't remember being that far back either.
That's a long time.
Wow.
If you had a gun to my head, I would have said 2009.
Yeah, that's closer.
I would have been in the 2000s, but I don't think I would have been that deep into the decade.
Okay.
I would have been right there with you though. Wow. Oh, no championships of New York.
No
championships. Not even a sniff of excitement at Madison Square Garden anymore. It's going to be dark. That's great.
Yeah.
Game 1, Rangers Panthers, Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. or 7. Is it 8 or 7? I don't even know what time it is.
Oh, it's your fucking team. Who gives a shit?
I don't know.
Well,
I'm just saying that there's going to be excitement at the Garden on Wednesday evening.
Those fucking douchebags are probably lining up already to get in.
Well, I mean, I acknowledge the Rangers, but I was trying to keep it with relevant sports like that people like watching, because like as we've discussed, WNBA outdraws in the NHL. So
yeah, and like there was not a lot of hope for the Knicks on Game 7. I mean, I know they had a couple guys come back, but man, it was that I turned that game off pretty quick.
They're saying this is just like the first of what could be a good run for the Knicks, though. Is that true?
I hope so. Well, they got the 3 guys from Villanova, right? So they can build upon those 3 guys. Hartenstein, I mean, I guess was okay, but I don't even know who was injured that they missed in the middle so bad.
Julius Randle.
Randle.
Yeah,
even I knew that one.
He's a scorer.
Michael Kay said something so moronic on the radio today that I just have to repeat it.
It's every day.
He definitely thinks the Knicks should go after Kevin Durant to put them over.
No, for fuck's sake.
Why? He is so beyond his prime.
35 years old, and he would require such a trade package because you got to equal salary in the NBA.
Yeah, no.
And then draft picks on top of it.
We're good.
How many times has he won a championship that wasn't already a super team that
Right.
he joined? Zero. That's
Right.
the answer. Zero. And those teams have
I knew
all
that.
traded him or regretted trading for him.
Regretted getting him. Yeah.
Good God. What a
Worked out
bad
so well in
take,
Brooklyn.
man.
Just asinine. So I had to repeat
Asinine.
that.
No, you know what Michael
Yeah.
K does all the time? That is fucking. This is quick. All the time, like, calling a Yankees game. Somebody runs to a fly ball and catches it, and he'll be like, "Oh, he just robbed Gleyber Torres of an extra base hit." No, he just fucking ran and caught a fly ball. He was on the run. It was not going to be an extra base hit. He had it. He had it the whole fucking way. It's
Well,
not
it
like he
would have been
dove into the gap and got
It
it.
would have been an extra base hit, yeah, if he dropped it and it rolled all the
If
way
he
to the
just didn't
wall.
bother,
And
if he didn't bother going after it, it would have
if
been
he
an
had a
extra base hit. If he
seizure,
just watched it,
if he had a seizure as he was running to catch it, would have been extra bases.
Yeah.
exactly.
Money
My
talks.
God.
Money, it's a gas. Grab that cash with both hands and make a stash. New puck, give a fuck, G and daydream. Think I'll buy me a hockey team.
Unbelievable. Well, Money Talks. Let's talk a little bit about it's playing right now. Well, actually intermission right now. But they'll be finishing up Game 7 in the next couple hours, I guess, hour and a half. And that's the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton Oilers. I really haven't looked at their team much in the last few months. I guess maybe since we do the segment and other segments. Mostly because they're kind of like not the most interesting team to me. But what is interesting is that in next year they will have probably the biggest free agent to hit the market in quite some time, and then potentially and even the biggest free agent to hit the market in the following year. Of course, I'm talking about Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. We're both going to be UFAs, and then either in next year for Draisaitl, and then 2 years from now with Connor McDavid. And why that's kind of important, obviously, is for two reasons. One, they are playing in Game 7 right now against Vancouver Canucks. They've been pretty much all in the last few years. I've been trading for a few pieces here and there. They ended up picking up Evander Kane. They traded for Ekholm last year for a couple first round pick and a player they picked first in their first round. They've done a lot of things to try and get this team to over the hill here to get to the cup, and it just hasn't been successful. And they're really running out of runway to get to the point where they get a cup for McDavid's prime here, for one, and two, just be able to keep him or Draisaitl. They don't really need to stay if the team is just not winning. And even worse is, they have a few guys that are in the pipeline that could potentially be something, but I mean, it's not like they've spent a lot of their assets. I mean, looking at their prospect pool, and they're not really high. They're about the mid-20s. If you look at different rating systems, and so they're not really in a good spot from that perspective, which makes sense as they've been trading pieces to trying to get to the cup. So what does that leave them? It leaves them with the window of, if they don't win tonight's game, they'll be immediately in a very short 2-year window. And if they do win, obviously it keeps going for a little bit longer. And obviously winning a cup in Edmonton would be massive for keeping both Draisaitl and McDavid, just because winning always seems to solve problems, right? Now, that said, next year they have 7 forwards signed currently. The rest are all UFAs, minus Dylan Holloway, who's an RFA they have with their own first-round picks to sign. They have 5 defensemen signed, with 2 UFAs and RFA, with also they got their Jack Campbell, who's not been great for his $5 million contract, and Stuart Skinner signed as well, their goalie. That's just not a lot to look at. I mean, everything is basically this year and next year. There's only 3 players signed past the next 2 years, and that's Zach Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, and Darnell Nurse. Nobody else is signed past that. Obviously, their RFAs will be re-signed, and they'll eventually have more guys on the books longer. But they are really in a pretty much they're in a win now mode, and they're going to have to be able to if they don't win this year, they're going to have to sign a bunch of guys. I mean, they have Corey Perry, Sam Gagner, Gagner, Adam Henrique, they just signed, traded for this year. Another one of those, he's a good center, but I mean, worth a first rounder, I guess.
No.
You know what I mean? Like you're just sending futures away to make this thing happen. And if they don't get it to happen, there's no guarantee that the two guys that really have been the anchor here will stick around. And so the window, if they don't do well next year, I mean, this will be a big discussion point will be around Draisaitl next year. That's going to be a massive one because, I mean, he's 28 right now. He'll be going his 29 year and signing a gigantic deal wherever he goes or he stays. But it's going to be a problem. And then, of course, the even bigger one will be the year after with McDavid. And everybody in Toronto will be making a million articles about it until he signs somewhere or finally says he's going to sign with Edmonton. But there has been a lot. I mean, new coach has really revitalized the team. They played really, really well this year after he came on. They had that crazy win streak. I think it was 16, 17 games. Totally turned the team around. But nevertheless, it is a very, very tricky situation they're going to be in if they don't win tonight's game. It could literally be one of those scenarios where it could be it. They could lose this game, go into next season with Draisaitl being UFA, and maybe the things don't work out and the team starts to dismantle, or they somehow make it work. But they're gonna have to do a lot of work to sign a lot of the guys to make this really short 2-year window happen. And all eyes, like I said, will be on what they're doing because of those two big free agent possibilities. So
Connor's the third highest player in the league right now at $12.5 million. Can you imagine what he's going to get on the open market?
A lot of money.
All the monies. Doesn't matter.
All the money.
They give him half the franchise.
I mean, Draisaitl's at 8.5 right now. So he'll get a substantial bump, 11, 12 million probably, right? You think that's a fair contract for him?
How old is he now?
He's going to be 29.
He'll be 29 when
he'll get that.
His contract, yeah.
But,
which is the same age that Connor will be when he hits free agency, if he hits free agency. I mean, 16, 18? What's he going to get?
What's the cap? What's it going to be?
Yeah, it depends on what the cap is that year that he signs. I agree with Nick. So
is there a limit?
The max.
Like, isn't there a max like percentage against the cap?
Yeah, I don't remember it off the top of my head, but he's making 14.3 of the cap right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's gotta be close. Let's look at the players active. So the biggest cap hit is probably Matthews. He's at 13.25. So what is that? 15.1 is the current highest cap hit in the league.
What is it? 15.1?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so man, it's gonna be ridiculous, especially because it's supposed to jump in the next couple of years, right?
Well, that's the thing. We're gonna see a big jump soon, so it might happen before it.
It's gonna be good to see him playing for an American-based team soon. It's gonna be great. Can't wait.
Hopefully on the East Coast in Newark.
No, that we don't want to see that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the state in Steve's stomach.
Oh, that feels better.
Yep.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
Right here, we're saving calories. Round here, we all look so spice flavor, no. Round here, Coke Zero's the way to go.
This one, really recent, 2024, baby. Please go to May 11th.
Jeez, this is the most recent we've ever done.
This might be the most recent we've ever done.
Ago. May 11th was a Saturday.
Yep.
Breakfast was Hostess cupcakes and a 20-ounce of Coca-Cola Zero. Lunch was a Edison Baseball Snack Shack cheesesteak.
Whoa.
And a can of regular Coca-Cola.
Uh-oh.
This was the Edison Baseball League photo shoot day. So I was at the Edison Little League baseball fields for about 8 hours that day. Dinner was it was very good. Dinner was a chicken finger wrap and can of Coca-Cola Zero sugar. Tom, why did you pick Saturday, May 11th in the year 2024?
Well, that is because a woman, according to Fox News, on May 11th, a woman was shopping at a Whole Foods location in, I don't even know where, Chamblee? Is there a Chamblee, New Jersey?
Sure.
Okay. Maybe? Yeah, exactly.
If Fox News says it, there is.
When a random man allegedly ejaculated on the woman's back. The Chamblee Police Department, Dr. Sabrine Lovell, who is a plastic surgeon, claims she was stopped at a grocery store to pick up a few things after a workout.
Or she picked up a few things.
Yes, she did. I see this gentleman walking down the aisle who's pretending to be shopping. How do you pretend to shop? And
you have to whistle. You have to whistle like that.
Were you even whistling?
I was. It wasn't coming through.
No.
It's not a frequency that the microphone picks up. That's funny.
Wow. So I see this gentleman walking down the aisle who's pretending to be shopping, and he's holding a basket, and he looks kind of like a normal gentleman, like late 20s or 30s. Nothing extra suspicious about him. While speaking to reporters, she said the incident went down when she bent over to reach for some chips, and she felt something weird on her back.
This is cum.
Now, I have never felt what that feels like, especially on my back.
Oh, it's all good.
So I don't know what she would have felt, but why would she have said weird? Felt something weird. I would have imagined it would have felt like water dropping on your back.
Certainly would have been felt unexpected, I guess.
What is she wearing that she's feeling this on her back?
Well, it's May, so she's probably not wearing a jacket.
Maybe like an open back shirt, though. What are you wearing that you can feel?
She came from the gym, so maybe it's like a sports bra, something like that, like a tight tank top, something like that. I mean,
keep talking. We might have another incident.
Oh.
I bent over to grab the chips, and I was doing that. I felt something like wet and warm on my back. So I put my hand on the small of my back, and then I saw that it was like this gooey white substance.
Yeah, we know.
And I turned around, and I see this guy looking at me, and he zips up his pants. Lavelle said she just assumed someone spilled something on her. Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did.
But after touching the lower part of her back, that's when she realized it was semen. She then explained that she chased the man before contacting police, but she was unable to catch him. She was just from the gym. She's exhausted.
Nothing quicker than a guy who just jerked off and is running away.
I wanted to draw as much attention as possible to the situation so there would be a lot of witnesses. This was broad daylight on a Saturday, Lavelle added. I'm sure he's done this before, or this could escalate to something more like rape or murder. So I wanted to make sure that this goes on the record and it follows him. The suspect was described as a white fat man, 6'2", losing his hair,
Lives in Edison.
Kind of a beard, lives in Edison, big giant glasses. No, I'm kidding.
Well, thank God I'm only 6 feet tall. Looking for me. Clearly, I'm not
Described as a
6'2".
black man standing 5 feet 11 inches tall with short to medium length black hair. He was reported to be thin and wearing silver glasses, a navy zip-up jacket with a hood, and dark washed jeans. So anybody find this man, please call the Chamblee Police Department immediately.
I've seen it. I've seen that guy. That's my guy. That's my character on GTA San Andreas.
You're probably right. Can you go into food stores in San Andreas?
You certainly can.
It's 2024.
Well, there you go.
What supermarket doesn't have cameras everywhere?
Well, I mean, probably not down the aisle, right? I mean, look, the next time you go to Stop and Shop.
Yeah,
they have them everywhere so they can get data. What are you talking about?
Is that right?
Yeah,
of course.
Pretty sure.
You're probably
also watched stealing and everything.
Yeah, you're all probably right.
We also have a developing situation.
Ooh.
1-0 Edmonton.
Oh,
Cody Ceci.
They're on the power play.
And now they just went on the power. Well, they're a minute into the power play now.
Wow. Obviously he came.
Nah.
Yeah, good point.
Well, without saying, yes. Good point.
Yeah. That definitely goes without saying. That's what happened May 11th, 2024. Be careful while walking down Whole Foods, the aisles in Whole Foods.
I'm looking for. Can you spell Chamblee?
SH or CH?
No, CH. It is
CHAMBLEE.
It's Chamblee. CHAMBLEE.
Chamblee.
Maybe it wasn't. You know what? It's at Peachtree Boulevard.
It's Georgia. Yeah, there's a Chamblee. There is a Chamblee, Georgia. So that makes more sense.
Yeah. 5001 Peachtree Boulevard.
Yeah, then this story makes absolute 100% sense.
I was just there.
Yeah.
I was just there in Peachtree.
You were in Chamblee? You were at Whole Foods?
I think everything in Georgia is called Peachtree.
Right. There's a Peachtree Mall. There's a lot going on there.
Funny thing you say that, because I accidentally booked my hotel the first night in the wrong Peachtree.
Oh, see, they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Because my work put us in a different. They just did everything through we signed up and they did the booking for us. So I didn't actually do the first night because we had to come in early night. Blah blah. Long story short, I just did it really quick. Like, what's the I typed in Peachtree into Gencia and I was like, all right, cool, cheapest one, done. Went there, it was a Marriott, no problems. Next morning, I'm like, I wonder how close the other one is I'm supposed to go to in the morning, because everything's at this other hotel. And it was 12 miles away. I'm like, oh shit, I'm not in walking distance. So I also didn't realize how bad Outlands traffic was, and I was literally in the worst possible place to be, right on the highway. The only place I had to go was 12 miles down the road. It took me an hour and 10 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
Luckily, I only missed the cocktail hour breakfast thing where it's 8 to 9, making chit chatting with everybody. So that was an interesting ride with the Uber driver. But anyway,
dare I say, Vancouver's goalie in the last 3 minutes has made 2 game-saving saves, which is an odd thing to say 5 minutes into the second period, but 2 of the best saves you'll ever see. So make sure you check them out.
Can't wait to see them on replay. All right, that's going to do it for us. Don't forget to go on to Twix at @friends_rival. Give us a follow, do all that crap. When you're on looking at your podcast, Turn on notifications for the Friends and Rivals podcast. We might make you laugh.
Fucking A.
Hey, why not? So, and listen, now you get to hear Billy say something witty.
So again, for perspective, that Iranian, helicopter crash for music fans, it would be like if there was like a super tour and the helicopter that had Creed and Nickelback went down. It's just fucking horrible.
Creed's making a comeback.
I know.
Are they?
Yeah.
No, it's
Really?
as soon as they plan a tour, the fucking the singer left his wife.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I did hear that.
Wait, Creed?
Oh, yeah,
Creed's Creed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is it the same guy? Is it Scott Stapp still?
Yeah.
Wasn't that guy like super Christian? Or they just like forget that?
Yeah.
Until his band started to catch on again in 2024, and he said, "Well, maybe not."
Well, baby, I gotta move on.